Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
It is so good to be gathered together, both in the sanctuary and on Zoom, to enter Shabbat together. We come here for so many reasons: to sing, to pray, to remember, to celebrate, to reflect. And as we begin our Shabbat service, I'm always just amazed that the creators and the authors of our prayer book were really psychologically aware. We don't just jump right into a big moment like the Shema or a time where we need to gather our thoughts like silent prayer. Instead, we warm up. We sing these opening songs that help us come together and help us make this transition between our busy lives and the joyful rejuvenation, that was a mouthful, joyful rejuvenation that Shabbat can offer us. And I think that means that our prayer book gave us that extra time on purpose. It said, we know that you can't make that transition all at once, that you need a little time to let go of the week and get into that Shabbat spirit. And one of the ways that we do that is by lighting candles. It's an extra source of brightness, and it reminds us that Shabbat is here. It's a visual reminder to move into this special time. And this Shabbat, our Shabbat spirit is extra bright because Zach Scott is going to become bar mitzvah. And he'll be leading us in song and prayer and teaching us Torah. So we'll invite Zach and his parents, Michelle and Joel, his sister Vivian, and his grandmother Karen, up to the bima to light our Shabbat candles and help us get a little closer to that Shabbat spirit.
We're on pages 2 and 3.
I can give you this one if you want. We can all read it together.
Do we light the candle first? Okay, one. Okay, so we do one, okay? 3, 2, 1.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who may behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
So thank you for helping us bring in Shabbat, and Zach will be bringing you back up here later in our service for a little bit more joy and a little bit more getting into that Shabbat spirit before you lead and teach us all tomorrow. So the 16th century Jewish mystics who lived in the city of Tzfat looked forward to Shabbat all week. They wrote beautiful poems and songs about the beauty and the restfulness of Shabbat. And as the sun began to set on Friday evenings, they would dress all in white and go into the fields to welcome Shabbat like a bride or a queen. And those words and practices have come down through the generations to us, preserved in our prayer book. If you don't have a prayer book, you can find them under your seats. And so on page 20, we sing their words, Lecha Dodi, and we invite Shabbat into our community.
Lecha Dodi likrat kalai alalai 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 pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kalai alalai 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 pnei Shabbat nekabela. rise to greet Shabbat in our holy spaces. We sing verse 9 and facing the entrances to let Shabbat in. Boi v'shalom ateret ba'ala, gam b'simcha u'betzochola, toch emunei am segula, boi kala, lecha dodi likrat kala, yalalai, 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 pnei Shabbat, nekavela, lecha dodi likrat kala, yalalai, 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 pnei Shabbat, nekavela.
We invite you to stay standing as you're able. We'll turn to page 28 for the Baruch Hu, our call to communal prayer.
Yalalai, 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 yalalai. Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed, le'olam va'ed. Yalalai, 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 yalalai,
The first word of the Shema is hear or listen. So as we turn to page 34 for the Shema, I invite you to hear all of our voices joining together.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam va'ed.
Please be seated. We'll continue with Ve'ahavta on page 36. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבת על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, ואתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. When the Israelites stood on the far shores of the Sea of Reeds, looking back on the miracle that they had witnessed, the Torah teaches us that Moses first led the people in prayer, and then Miriam the prophetess took up a timbrel, raised her voice in song, and the people danced in joy. Jewish communities around the world echo those words and that gratitude and that awe. And on page 40, we add our voices as we sing Mi Chamocha.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nehtar b'kodesh, mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nehtar b'kodesh, no ratehilot, osefele, no ratehilot, osefele. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nehtar b'kodesh, mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nehtar b'kodesh, mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nehtar b'kodesh.
Jewish tradition recognizes that when night falls, it's easy to become afraid of stumbling in the dark. We don't always know where we are, and we need to feel safe. And so we offer the words of Hashkivenu, asking for protection as the day ends, on page 42.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chayim, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Amen. Shelter us beneath thy wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, our wrong from right. Amen. Amen.
ata Adonai hapares sukat shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim.
Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam be'eretz olam b'ni uvein b'nei Yisrael Hoti le'olam Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz uvayom hashvi'i Shabbat Shabbat vayinafas Shabbat Shabbat vayinafas Shabbat Shabbat vayinafas.
As we come to the Amidah, our standing prayer, our chance to pray together, and then silently to ourselves, we invite you to rise as you're able, and we'll begin on page 46.
Adonai Sefatai Tiftach Ufi Yagid Hilatecha Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may praise your name. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, U'Mevi Geulah Livnei B'neihem, L'ma'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magid Avraham V'Maged Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol Atah, Rav LeHoshia, Morid Hatah, Mechakel Chayim Bechesed, Mechayeh HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Verofeh Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem emunato lishenei afar. Micha mocha ba'al gevurot umido melach. Melech memid umechaye umatzmiach Yeshua. V'ne'eman atah lechayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, v'kadoshim b'chol yom yahalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
We invite you to take time for silent prayer, the words of our Siddur, of our prayer book, or the words that are in your heart, and to be seated when you're ready.
So we move now in our service into a moment where we pray for healing. And I want to invite you all to practice this new prayer that was written by a Jewish musician named Ali Halpert that I learned through some friends from rabbinical school. I've shared it once before, but it takes some time, so I'll invite you to repeat after me some simple words. Loosen, loosen, baby.
Loosen, loosen, baby.
You don't have to carry.
You don't have to carry
The weight of the world in your muscles and bones.
the weight of the world in your muscles and bones.
Let go, let go, let go.
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 And as you sing those words, as we sing let go, I invite you to feel a sense of calmness and healing come over you. Loosen, loosen, baby.
Loosen, loosen, baby.
You don't have to carry
You don't have to carry
the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go.
the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go.
And here's part 2. Holy breath and holy name.
Holy breath and holy name.
Will you ease this pain?
Will you ease this pain?
Put all together. Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Holy breath and holy name. Will you ease this pain? Holy breath and holy name. Will you ease this pain?
I'm going to walk around the sanctuary. If there are names that you're thinking of, people for whom we can offer prayers of healing, I invite you to rise so that I can share that name with you and hear that name. And if you're joining us via Zoom, I invite you to share names in the chat so that we can be holding together as we loosen a little bit more.
The weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Holy breath and holy name. Will you ease this pain? Holy breath and holy name. Will you ease this pain? Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Holy breath and holy name. Will you ease this pain?
Thank you for sharing names with me so that we can all together pray for healing. And this week, our community is also holding in our prayers Stephanie Levitt, Marilyn Greenwald, Marcia Margolin, Francie Karp, Evan Bin, Lynn Ettlinger, Larry Margolis, Gary Verbin, Larry Gurman, Rebecca Frazier, Marcel Frazier, Sherry Berenstein, Maxine Rogo, Pari Meskin, David Habib, Anna Tran, Lev Heschel Ben Bat Ami, Suzanne Price, the Carney Friedman family, Carol Kleinman, Sergio Ribka, Carol Penn, Jessica Bobson, Abdullah Ibrahim, Cindy Brines, Louis Eliscu, Dolores Gold, Elisheva Khana, Father Eric Hines, Michael McNally, Helene Gagon, Sophia Khana, Betty Nazarian, Rita Harai, John Tibbetts, Marilyn Schmidt, Glenn Kesselman, Amy Schulman, and Bob Berry.
Let go, let go, let go. Let go, let go, let go. Let go, let go, let go.
And we offer a refuah shlema, a prayer for complete healing, whatever completeness means to each one of us. The image of apples and honey is ubiquitous in Jewish spaces as Rosh Hashanah gets closer, and the expression that we hope for a sweet, round new year has always made me smile. But this year, I'm thinking of another sweet tradition, that of eating challah with honey. That is a practice that some people have in the first year of a marriage. I'm looking at my husband, not at Rabbi Lisa. Which is different from a practice that many people have at all times of their life, which is adding salt to Friday night challah as a reminder of the sacrifice of salted meat offered in the Jerusalem temple. As Jews, we enact a lot of communal memory through food. That salted challah to remember the temple sacrifice, matzah to remind us of the unleavened cakes of the Israelites leaving Egyptian servitude, and fried latkes as a symbol of the miracle of the Hanukkah oil. And we also express some of our hopes through food pairings, like those upcoming apples and honey, or the famous apple cookies I've heard so much about and I'm excited to try this year. And this year, I'm in a time of pairing challah and honey because I got married in June. And Jewish tradition teaches that this delicious practice can keep the honeymoon phase going with lots of literal sweetness. Our Torah portion this week, Ki Teitzei, has more laws than any other parsha. Some seem logical and ethical by our contemporary standards, and many feel out of step with our understanding of society and morality, and some even seem cruel. But there's one instruction that stood out to me this year. When a man has taken a bride, he shall not go out with the army or be assigned to it for any purpose. He shall be exempt for 1 year for the sake of his household, to give happiness to the woman he has married. As noted in the Torah, a women's commentary, this isn't the first time that the Torah discusses military deferments of various kinds, but it is here in our Torah portion that we learn this deferral is for marital joy, and specifically for the happiness of a new bride. In a text that often focuses on male experiences and male stories, and a tradition where women and their bodies are often objects to be regulated rather than understood, I love the awareness that's offered here in the Torah. Maimonides' medieval law code Mishneh Torah explains that a person is given one undisturbed year after a big life change like getting married, where he cannot do military or civil service that takes him away from his new wife. He's expected to give her happiness, and that requires being present. And I would also suggest it requires an opportunity. It gives them both time, the time they need to adjust to a new status. Even today, when many newly married couples have been in a long-term relationship, lived together, maybe combined finances, marriage can still be a transition for those who embark upon it. And this verse reminds us that transitions take time. Even happy changes are periods of adjustment. Sometimes happiness doesn't even come right away or all at once, but instead slowly, with patience and care. Don't rush, I think the Torah is saying. Give big changes the time we require to really settle into something new. So I appreciate this verse's sensitivity. And there's something else I love about it. I love that this verse can be read as supporting joyful partnership and joyful sexuality. Adele Berlin writes that to give happiness to his new wife presumably refers to conjugal pleasure. The Torah doesn't shy away from those parts of life that we're sometimes embarrassed to discuss. Instead, for our writers, everything in life could be made intentional and made holy. Bodies and their desires are not considered dirty or shameful, as long as those desires are fulfilled in a context of happiness. And I would add that our needs, whether sexual, emotional, or social, require respect, communication, and vulnerability to truly be happy. By insisting that a newlywed provide happiness to their spouse, I think this verse includes those additional conditions too. In the heteronormative worldview offered in the verse, it's a man who stays home to give his wife happiness. Today, we offer a more expansive understanding of romantic relationships than those named in the Bible. Our partnerships might be queer, they might be asexual. Our marriages might start later in life if we choose to marry, or be long-term partnerships. No matter our relationship, we may not be able to stay home or rearrange our lives for a year, keeping the honeymoon phase alive. But still, we can see this verse as encouraging joy and vulnerability in our relationships, sensitivity and support when we see friends or family entering new relationship statuses, and honesty about the elements of life that can feel taboo to discuss. As we continue through the month of Elul towards a new year, while we're in this time of reflection and change, we're invited to think deeply about who we are and who we want to become in the year ahead. May we approach ourselves and those around us with this verse's invitation to sensitivity, vulnerability, and above all, to happiness. Shabbat Shalom. So I'm delighted at this time to invite up our immediate past president, Roger Feigelson, to share some exciting announcements of the many wonderful things to come in the following weeks. Sorry, it's a mess up here, Roger.
Shabbat Shalom. Oh, and Yasher Koach, thank you. And if I haven't said it lately, I'm really glad you're here. And Rabbi Lisa, thank you. I love hearing you sing. It's always such a treat, so thank you for that. And lots of stuff going on. As you probably are aware, how can you read at such an angle? High holidays are coming up, and the deadline for registering for services is today. So if you haven't done it, but there's still hours left. And for you on Zoom, you can even open up another window and start, well, anyway, you get the idea. So get your registration in so we know how to plan. And if you're going to be Zooming in and you want a prayer book, you can reserve a copy by September 15th, so that gives you to next week. And there's lots of other deadlines coming up around the high holidays. I won't bore you with them all, but please look them up if there's something like ordering a meal or remembering a loved one. They're all in there. The next exciting thing is our own Rabbi Lisa is participating in a Rabbi's Roundtable next Tuesday from 6:30 to 9 at the PJCC. Thank you. Yes, you of all people, please make sure you sign up and attend. What are we talking about at this thing? It's a discussion on healing through prayer. And there will be some discussion centered around a group of paintings called the 18. And you'll have an opportunity to view the paintings before the talk. I myself will be there. I don't know if that's an incentive or a disincentive. Maybe we'll just strike that from the record, but it should be a great round table. And then Sillycoat is Saturday, September 17th at 7 p.m. And there's a learning that's in person only, and then a service in person and via Zoom after that. Also another important date coming up, or is there a date on this? Registering now for the PTBE education programs is open. Is there a deadline for this? As soon as possible. So if you're on Zoom, you can open a window, and no, it's as soon as possible. And then the last thing I'm going to mention, two more things, is Rodfei Tzedek has got a postcard writing this Sunday, September 11th. My wife, who's helping coordinate, is vehemently nodding her head. From 2 to 4 here, the Reform Movement has partnered with the Center for Common Ground's Reclaim Our Vote campaign to contact low-propensity voters of color to help them register and vote. So it's going to be a fun afternoon of writing postcards, a light nosh, and learning more about the Religious Action Center. Every Voice, Every Vote campaign. You'll be RSVPing to Rebecca. It's in the e-news. Please sign up. And then the last event is tomorrow. Where is Zach? Zach? This one's of particular interest to you because there's a bar mitzvah service here that I believe is for you. So I encourage you to come, more so than anybody else. But everybody else, obviously, please come because I think you're going to knock it out of the park. But it's going to go fast, so hold on to every moment. I think that covers everything. So Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you. I'm not sure what the halakha says about breaking Shabbat in order to register for the High Holy Days, but I give permission as your rabbi. So we need those registrations. It helps us plan, and we want to see you all here as much as possible. So I also know so many of you are here and on Zoom because you are remembering your loved ones. You are here to say Kaddish, you have experienced a recent loss, or you are here marking the anniversary of someone you've lost at this season in years past. So if you are here to remember someone, I invite you to rise and be recognized from our community. Well, this Shabbat, in recent losses, we're remembering Leo Barris, Roseanne Levitt, and Charles Becker. And this Shabbat is a yahrzeit for Eleanor Aslanian, Norma E.J. Avram, Molly Barkoff, Murray Barron, Sophie Hanman Bin, Peter Crane, Mildred Diamond, Harry Fink, Jerry Gonick, Algar Jacobs, Morris Copit, Charles Lauder, Gary Lehman, Samuel Levin, Andrew Levitt, Robert Malvar Real, Theodore Menkes, Charlotte Onhouse, Bernadine Riskin, Morris Roth, Paul Rubenstein, Ron Sloves, Edward Soto, Ellen Spector, Helen Talcove, Leonard S. Tolman, Max Ungar, Rick Big, Dorothy Vogel, Julius Vogel, and Sarai Zitter. If there's a name that I mispronounced or left off the list, I want to invite anyone to share a name out loud as I look around the sanctuary or to add it to our Zoom box. Thanks. Thank you. Lord, for the names that were shared out loud and for the people we always remember when we recite this prayer, I invite you to stand together in support of one another as we recite Kaddish on page 294. Yitzgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'yamad divrach hirteh v'yamlich malchuteh, b'chayachon v'yomechon v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'zman kari v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam olmei almaya, yitzbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yitzaleh v'yithalal shemei d'kedusha barichu, le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, damiran be'ama v'imru amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'kosh v'tevel v'imru amen. We say zikronam livracha, may their memory be for a blessing.
Amen.
All right, we're going to remain standing, and Zach, we're going to ask you to come take your place on the bima to lead our community in some kiddush and motzi to mark the sweetness of this Shabbat for you. We're going to be on page 5.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kedishanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho be'avra uvratzon chinchilanu, zikaron l'maaseh bereshit, ki hu yom techila למקרא קודש, זכר לציון מצרים. כי בנו בחרת, ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים. בשבת קודשך, באהבה וברצון, הנחלתנו. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen.
It's juice.
Definitely.
I said that really helps out. It helps out Nick because then he doesn't have to clean it up. All right, ready for motzi?
Yeah.
All right, hold that challah with Rabbi Rebecca.
I'll hold it, then you can hold it.
Okay.
We'll just switch it around.
Oh.
You can pull from it after we say the blessing.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
Go ahead and rip some.
And you can also eat that piece, and you can
give you
also
all of
take
this
that
to take
entire challah home.
So you can eat all of this.
Yeah. And you can.
In case you don't want to eat all of it right now, we've got a little time.
But I see you have a lot of cousins here, people that want to share that challah with you. And for everyone else, there's more challah and oneg outside. I hope you'll stay and wish each other a Shabbat Shalom. Oseh Shalom Bimromav. Oseh Shalom Bimromav. Hu yaseh, hu yaseh, hu yaseh. shalom. Hu yaseh shalom. Aleinu. Count it, 1, 2. Sing it. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. Shabbat shalom.
How is it? How's the challah? Oh, he's too focused on the challah. Shabbat shalom.